Coming up on Sbu TV, St. Bonaventure University hosts the Special Olympics, and we look into the fines for texting and driving. Hello and welcome to Sbu TV. I'm Jasmine Foster.
And I'm Brittany Slomba. St. Bonaventure University partnered with Special Olympics New York and hosted their annual unified basketball competition on Wednesday. It was an early and jam-packed day, beginning with a local leg of law enforcement torch run that opened Special Olympics events across the country. For the third year straight, the run commemorated the loss of Trooper Ross Riley, an Allegheny resident who died in a high-angle rescue training exercise at Letchworth State Park in 2013. Riley served 17 years with the state police and was a Marine Corps veteran from the Persian Gulf War. This year was the 30th anniversary of the law enforcement torch run in New York State. Local police officers joined select athletes from the competing schools, and members of the SBU community ran the Flame of Hope from just outside the Olean Municipal Building, down West State Street and onto St. Bonaventure's campus. Hundreds of athletes, spectators, and volunteers greeted the runners on their way into the Riley Center for opening ceremony. SBU TV has more about the unified competition that followed throughout the day.
And now for a look into St. Bonaventure's Special Olympics event. Over 100 students from Cattaraugus County filled the Riley Center for one common goal: basketball. Special Olympics is a national effort that attempts to help individuals with intellectual disabilities overcome barriers through sports. We talked to SBU senior Robert Russel, who is one of the coordinators for the event, about SBU's participation with Special Olympics.
So the Special Olympics event is a day where we invite multiple different schools, and there are a lot of athletes who have special needs and special disabilities, and they come here to play in competitive unified sports.
One of the speakers addressed the crowd, offering words of encouragement to motivate the young athletes.
Now it's your turn to make history here in the Riley Center. Your turn to show your talent, your skills, your ambition, your energy, your sportsmanship, your enthusiasm.
The participants get to spend the day at St. Bonaventure meeting new people, working with students, and playing basketball. To get involved with Special Olympics, visit www.specialolympics.org.
According to a AAA poll, 94% of teen drivers acknowledge the dangers of texting and driving, but 35% admitted to doing it anyway. Jackie Roberts found out how the St. Bonaventure community responds to this nationwide problem.
What sounds more dangerous to you? Parking in a faculty and staff lot, or texting and driving? In New York State, the second option is considered significantly more detrimental. That is, unless you're on a college campus. I spoke with the Director of Safety and Security at St. Bonaventure to find out if texting and driving impacts the campus community.
Bonaventure is just a microcosm of what's happening out there in the greater New York State. And texting and driving is a problem. It's distracted driving. You know, they call it a smartphone, but it's actually a dumb choice.
But on campus, the repercussions of texting and driving don't reflect the statewide trend. So, who determines the fines?
It has been set previously by administration.
If I were to be caught texting and driving on this side of North Union Street, I would receive 5 points on my New York State driver's license. But if I were to be caught texting and driving on the St. Bonaventure side, I would only receive the same punishment as a parking ticket, a $25 fine.
This got me thinking, what is the biggest offense on campus?
The maximum fine are for parking in fire lanes and handicap spaces.
The university's views on texting and driving could eventually catch up with state standards.
If we do see a problem, then we would then have to make the fines more serious.
We'll have to see how many more accidents off campuses will cause stricter punishments on campuses. For SBU TV, I'm Jackie Roberts.
SBU TV News reached out to the Allegheny Police Department, but they were unable to comment.
And driving isn't the only activity interrupted by texting. Movie fanatics almost had the opportunity to chat with friends during theater viewings, but that idea did not last for long. AMC Entertainment has been anything but a stranger in the media lately. In February, the company announced its agreement to buy Carmike Cinemas, with a location right here in Olean, to become the world's top movie theater chain. Most recently, AMC brought controversy to the table when its CEO, Adam Aron, proposed the idea of mobile device-friendly theaters. Aron said he was open to making some theaters text-friendly to accommodate millennial moviegoers. He mentioned that AMC needed to reshape its product in order to better attract the current generation of movie fans. Nate Discavage is an avid movie blogger and commented on the proposal.
Just really distracting, because you're in a dark place and the light of the back of their phone comes up. I've also had friends who have missed important parts of movies, and they say they don't understand it, but it's because they were texting, and it just really hurts the movie experience.
But what would the introduction of text-friendly theaters say about our generation today? Dr. Ben Gross of St. Bonaventure Sociology Department offered his perspective.
Among the negatives is what they call absence and presence, or the idea that no matter where you are, your mind is somewhere else. So there's been some people who critique this idea that, for example, if you're at the movie theater, you're not really with your friends, you're not really watching the movie, and then people would say, well, why'd you spend the $10 on the movie?
AMC decided to change its script just days later when the proposal was shut down and dismissed from consideration. With enough negative input from the public, the harsh reaction to AMC's idea emphasized when it is appropriate to use a smartphone and it still won't be inside a movie theater. It looks like we will continue to turn our phones off before going out to see a movie, right, Brittany?
Right, Jasmine, but there's nothing wrong with that. The St. Bonaventure campus took on a new look this past week. On Monday, April 25th, Grit and Wit took over St. Bonaventure's campus. The challenge required groups of 2 or 4 to take on over 20 physical and mental obstacles. Grit and Wit is a company based out of New England and is the area's first mental and physical 5K race. Students and faculty members ran, climbed, and solved puzzles around campus on a course that totaled 3 miles. The average time competitors completed the course was around 45 minutes, but some teams were as fast as 30 minutes. To find out if Grit and Wit is coming to a venue near you, check out gritandwit.com.
Millennials have a different view on retirement. Brittany has the story.
For older generations, retirement was something to look forward to when they reached a certain age. But for millennials, those born between the early 1980s to around 2000 believe that age is just a number.
I think saying that you're bound and determined to retire at a certain age is almost a short-sighted way of looking at it. It's something you have to look at with the most focus on the financial aspect.
For us, I think we have to work until we reach a certain goal.
I think setting a certain goal and working towards that, and if I reach an age where I'm like, okay, I have my goal and I reached it and maybe I still want to keep working a little bit, I'll continue there.
Kind of making money, and as soon as I feel comfortable in my situation, I think that's the right time to retire.
For Sbu Tv, I'm Brittany Slomba.
St. Bonaventure alumna Erin Lowry, who has a book coming out on the topic in 2018, added that, quote, "The millennial generation is also experiencing a huge shift in not only how we work, but why we work. Unlike generations before us, we seek to find fulfillment and happiness from our jobs in a way our parents and grandparents never quite had the option to."
Have you ever shopped at Target? What about use their bathrooms? Target stores this past week announced that they are switching their bathrooms to accommodate everyone instead of being gender specific, stating, "In our stores, we demonstrate our commitment to an inclusive experience in many ways. Most relevant for the conversations currently underway, we welcome transgender team members and guests to use the restroom or fitting room facility that corresponds with their gender identity. Everyone deserves to feel like they belong, and you'll always be accepted, respected, and welcomed at Target." After the statement, a petition named Boycott Target has taken the internet by storm. With over 900,000 signers, they say that Target's store policy endangers women and children by allowing men to frequent women's bathroom facilities. They pledge to shop somewhere else until Target makes the safety of women and children a priority. People have been both happy and outraged by the decision. The people that are mad turn to the internet to show how they feel.
We were so disappointed to discover yesterday that one of our favorite stores, Target, has changed its policy to have gender-neutral bathrooms and changing areas. But we cannot frequent this store anymore because they're not accommodating for me and my family. I don't feel safe anymore using their bathroom want to use the bathroom with all women. I want to use the changing area with all women.
To find out what happens next, check any reliable news source.
There is no better time to get in shape with summer right around the corner. Droney Fit and Wellness has top-of-the-line workout equipment and physical therapist Mike Droney on site. All your physical needs are met.
As a physical therapist, we do ultrasound, a variety of different modalities, massage, manipulation for the spine problems, and one of the best things that we do is iontophoresis, which is a electric current-based treatment that uses E-stim to push an anti-inflammatory into the body. So it's like a cortisone shot without the shot. I've always treated athletes since I've been back in Ilion for the last 18 years. I've always treated the athletes. So I'm a Bonaventure grad, and at one point I was adjunct faculty teaching a class in the phys ed department for Bonas. Okay. So I've always treated the athletes. Yeah, so we would get anyone from pediatrics, infants, to sports injuries, high school kids, to geriatrics, post-surgical hip and knee replacements, post-surgical backs.
Here at Droney Fit and Wellness, they have the top-of-the-line life fitness equipment, where all you need to take it to the next level is your smartphone.
Healthcare is changing drastically, and to continue the care of therapy, to have people exercise on their own in a 24-hour atmosphere where I can still manage their exercises.
Reporting for Sbu Tv, I'm Jackson Drappe.
Mike Droney's next expansion project is to have an indoor basketball court installed within the next year.
SpaceX designs, manufactures, and launches advanced rockets and spacecraft. Their ultimate goal is to enable people to live on other planets. The company said they are planning to send a probe to Mars as soon as 2018. NASA confirmed it's partnering with SpaceX, but made it clear that they are only providing technical support and no money will be put into the effort. Many are skeptical on the launch because 2018 is just around the corner and SpaceX has been overly optimistic about launch dates in the past. To learn more about SpaceX, visit www.spacex.com.
Have you ever been fooled on the internet? Recently, people are believing this to be a depiction of Jesus, but he is actually a Star Wars Jedi, Obi-Wan Kenobi. This has gone so far that someone's mother had a picture of Obi-Wan on their mantle next to religious items. His Facebook post said, "Mom, that's not Jesus." On the left, we have a depiction of what Jesus looked like, and on the right is the Jedi Master. I think I see the connection. Now this image has been circulating around the internet with the caption, "I bet you won't share this because you're too embarrassed to have Jesus on your wall." People have shared and commented, "Amen." Overall, this is the work of internet trolls, who are people that want other people to believe what they see on the internet. The #1 rule of going on the internet is to not always believe what you see.
That's all for us here in the Coop Lab. I'm Brittany Slomba.
And I'm Jasmine Foster. Thanks for watching.